Grand Rosin to my people, and welcome to the B.O.D. HQ, where we are here for the half a trillion. So come, go with me and grow with me on a journey of discovering truth and leaving lies behind. Here, we look at some of the wildest clips from across the entire internet to see if we believe them or if we are being deceived. The BOD is about showing information. You determine how you receive the message. Here, truth is revealed and lies, they're unsealed. You may have seen some of these clips before, but you haven't heard my take on them. And don't forget, all of these videos are for entertainment purposes only. And with enough being said, let's get right into the footage. I know the videos have been a little glitchy the past couple videos. Work with me. We grown, baby. We growing. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it figured out. I got you.
The state of Israel is actually connected to America in a very arcane and secret way. So they are the state of Israel is connected to the American federal system. That's very interesting. That's why America sends billions and billions and billions of dollars. All the valuable things in the world goes through Jerusalem. That's why it's the holy city. Now, we know that Israel is very important because of strategically where it sits on the trade routes to control the flow of oil, drugs, diamonds, and a lot of drugs in Israel, going through Israel, and diamonds, gold, money, etc., etc. But you've got to give the people who are going to go over there and lose their lives and give their sons in war, you've got to give them a reason. So we tell them that it's religious. It's the Lord's chosen people, the Lord's people. And the Lord himself has chosen Israel. And we give them a lie. You'd be surprised what Americans love. They love that kind of stuff. And so we tell them, it's the Lord's will. And the Lord Jesus was there, and all the great prophets and all of that. And so we have to protect that little country, Israel, because it's the Lord's will.
Let me explain to you how.
What do y'all think? I believe him. Think he's trying to deceive us. I surely don't think that we need to be sending billions and billions of dollars to another country when we can be fixing our own country over here. We can be stopping our own homeless over here. We can be tackling our own issues over here before going to somewhere else and trying to fix somebody else's problems. We can be fixing our own.
The system works. So the first thing is they want us to be in jobs, jobs, because there they can transduce our most valuable resource, which is our time on the planet. Our effort, but our time on the planet. They can take that non-renewable resource, by the way, and transduce it into a debt instrument, Federal Reserve notes. Things they're not actually worth nothing. They're actually debt instruments. They're IOUs. And the rate of exchange for our time is so low, such that they can make a great deal of profit off of leveraging our time so that the companies make money and we make very little for what our time is really worth. Then do they pay you your full measure? No, they take half of it out as withholding on taxes that are unconstitutionally levied against us to take away even more of that labor transduced into worthless units, only to return it over a year later after inflation has made it even less valuable.
Yes, sir.
Been here for at least 6 months.
All my life.
Okay. You said that the child is currently receiving benefits through the state Medicaid program.
Yes, sir.
Is that through your name or hers?
My name.
Okay. Well, congratulations. That's a difficult program to get into if you're the father. I don't know why they make it so difficult sometimes, but I give you credit for that.
It was a long ride, but I
know
got it.
It shouldn't be any more difficult for you than it is for anybody else. I don't understand why they make it difficult for dads. I don't understand why they make it difficult for dads. So you said that she was in jail till November of just last year, 2023.
Yes, sir.
And she's had very little, if no, contact with the child since she got released.
No contact, and I still have my number at the same contact. She was able to contact me.
I mean, by law, I'm supposed to give her contact rights with the child. If I have to give her contact rights, Mr. Prevo, what kind of contact rights do you think she ought to have?
Supervised visits.
How long do you think ought to let her make her do supervised visits?
What's the maximum requirement? I want her to work her way up. I mean, at least start showing that she wants to spend time with the child.
I need more witnesses like you, Mr. Prevo. That's what I need. I need more witnesses.
In the bag, that's the way it's supposed to be. A real supposed to help you. Right now, the man's role would be to protect and provide. Now, when we say provide, that don't mean buy you every kind of weave you want that costs $800 or $900. It don't mean buy you every kind of Gucci and Fendi and Louis Vuitton. That ain't what provide means. He's going to provide direction and guidance, love, affection, discipline for our children, and help with all of those kind of things. Provide ideas. See, one of our problems as black women is that we ain't got nothing to do. You know, other than work for white people, we don't have too much to do. You know, go to the church. Yeah. And many of us treat the people at the church and the minister like we should be treating our man at home. So, you know, we have it all mixed up. So those are some of the things that the man needs to do. He needs to not let us get away with things, because the moment we get away with sneaking a line, we really open it up and do that a lot more because we think we've got him tricked. And that's one of the reasons that so many black women were angry with me for putting out the black man's got to understand the black woman, because our men needed a heads up. And even with that, it's hard for them. But they just have certain information they don't have about us that keeps them confused and makes them reject us and go to someplace else. He's outside looking for peace of mind. Yeah, because we're not that familiar with peace. We're just familiar with getting dressed up and putting on eyelashes and, you know, maybe even going to school. More of us are graduating from college. More of us are getting PhDs, you know.
What do y'all think? Y'all believe her? Y'all think she's trying to spread a narrative? I mean, you know, hey, she's back. She's talking that good talk, right? I think it's crazy, but I mean, what do you guys think? Spam it up in the comments if you think that you believe what she's saying, or if you think she's trying to deceive us and maybe make women move backwards. You know, I don't think that's the case, but what do you guys think?
Wives and no adultery. Time to blow your mind. Check it out. The Lord through Moses wrote, "Thou shalt not commit adultery." And when Moses wrote that, he had 2 wives. So, what is adultery? Letting the Bible define itself, we see that adultery includes another man's wife. Oh, so that's why when David had 7 wives, God didn't call him out on adultery until he took another man's wife. In fact, God said he gave him all his wives, and if that were too little, he would have given him more. God himself said he's married to Israel and Judah. And in the New Testament, Jesus compares himself to a king that's getting married to 10 virgins. Men, if you're going to do this, I suggest you get all of your wives their own house. And pastors, next time a single lady in church comes to you crying about not being able to find a husband, don't just tell them to part in peace and be ye warm and filled without giving them a solution that's needed, because God has already given you the solution. We have just been brainwashed to think opposite of the word of God.
What do you guys think? You believe him? Think it's just pushing a narrative for its own group of people? I believe that that people just say shit and don't even be thinking about the things that they say. You're right. I'll give you an example. There's a man out there for every woman. There's a woman out there for every man. I'll just be saying shit, don't y'all? Clearly, that's not true. There's millions and millions of women, more women on earth than there are men. There's more women than there are men on earth. So just by sheer numbers, those statements aren't true. People walk around here just saying anything, just saying shit.
Man. Bruh.
Please don't hurt me no more.
I would stand there and look at her like,
Please don't hurt me. Please don't hurt me.
I wouldn't even move.
I do want to get up, sir. I want to help up, but you have
Help yourself.
She tried to hit this man with the, my leg. Like, come on, man. Women hate.
What do y'all think? I mean, You see how she did that to a police officer? Imagine what she would do to you as a man, alone in a house where it's just your word against hers. Imagine what she would say, the lengths that she would go. Just imagine. She did that with police officers. Right there with her walking her, well, not even walking her out, wheeling her out. And she did that with them. So can you just imagine what she would do to anybody else? Not even just a man, anybody else where she's trying to uh, be wicked and tell a lie on.
When niggas know they work. When I know
when
that
I'm a king, treat me like a king. Shut your
exactly. See how they act with that? They hate that. Women hate when men know they work.
Relax.
The fact that I will not let you play with me, the fact that I will not let you give me less than what I deserve, the fact that I know that I can change your life day one and you can't change mine, it bothers them hoes. The hoes want you to think that you can't do shit for them that they can't do for themselves. Whole time fucking a nigga named Nate for their goddamn rent on the film. Yeah, they hate men that know they work. You ain't gonna let them play with you. You're not gonna let her disrespect you. You're not gonna let her use you for your money. You're not gonna let her play around with that pussy. She gonna have to give it up or get the fuck out. They hate when men know they work. So fellas, know your worth. Test that motherfucker out. See, hit the block. See what the streets say. Oh, the streets say you up, nigga. Goddamn it, it's on. I hate when niggas know their worth. That's why you say you want to simp, because he don't know his worth.
That's not true. A simp nigga can know his worth.
No, he don't.
He just wants to be submissive and all about his woman as he should.
You gonna cheat on that nigga with me?
But all women just don't have to like dominant ass men.
Yes, you do.
No, we don't.
Shut up. Hey, she love that shit.
I present to you Super Gorilla. This is the key to life-altering sex. All natural, and for y'all vegan woke niggas, it is vegan as well.
Well, I'm telling
What y'all think? Y'all believe them? Y'all think they just spitted a narrative? What y'all think? Is it all right for a man to be submissive to his woman as he should, as old girl said in the video? Or should a man, or do women like men who, tell them to shut up a little bit every now and again? What y'all think? Spam it up in the comments. Let me know.
these wives, when they tell me they're not nurturing, they're not affectionate, I said, so where he's gonna get it?
Yeah, where's he
where is he about to get it? Especially if he doesn't have a mother in his life or he doesn't have a close relationship. Where is this man getting this affection if it's not from you? And so how are you abusing that by pulling away your affections? Like, and you think that's okay? That's a punishment to some women. Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
And my husband, I had to tell him a long time ago, hey, I'm your place of peace.
Sure.
I tell my husband come in, I'm like, hey, you want to lay down in my lap? And I rub his back. He said, I love when you rub my back. I said, absolutely. He's bald, I
rub his head?
I rub his head. I rub his back. I do whatever because I'm trying to be different than anybody in his life. I'm like, this man ain't never leaving me because everybody out here ain't operating like this. Yeah. I want him to be like, I'm not going to, if I leave this woman, I ain't going to get my head rubbed. I ain't going to get my back rubbed. I'm not going to get it.
Man, let me tell you, honestly, I'm be honest.
That's utility right there.
First of all, y'all don't even understand. Big shout out to Ryan because
You've been tricked, how you've been deceived and misled. America, just as an example, in whatever country you're from, you can apply this. When we had the higher standard of living in the world, we had a husband and a wife, and they had 3 kids. That was the average. Number one, the husband worked a job, and he worked from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. He had nights off, and he had weekends off. And his average commute time to work was 15 minutes. Your wife didn't work. There was 1 paycheck coming into the house. You had 2 cars. You had an above-ground swimming pool in the backyard. And the house that you lived in has never been lived in before because you purchased a plot of land and you had a house built to your specifications. And you moved into the brand new house. And the car you drove was a brand new car. And you had enough money from 1 person working, just 9 to 5, 1 person working, there was enough money for a brand new house, 2 cars, you didn't need anybody else working in the house, 4 to 6 weeks vacation, and the cars were brand new, you didn't buy used cars. And your wife would go out and buy new clothes every month or 2. You went to the movies, you went to the theater, you went to people's homes for dinner. You could actually go to a baseball game or a football game and buy a ticket with your family because it didn't cost you $18 for a hot dog.
Hashtag tell the. What y'all think? I believe him? Think he's trying to deceive us? I mean, we all know it was a lot easier for the baby boomers and the people before us. But before we go any further, is that Buddy in the picture behind him? Is that him with a painting of of him in a samurai outfit? Is that what's going on? I dig it, but they both, the painting and him, look like Doug off the cartoon. I ain't going no further.
Can you really pay bills without money? I contend that you can, and I have, on the public side. In accordance with House Joint Resolution 192, Public Law 7310, 31 USC 5118, and various other codes that state such a thing. Now, it's a republic, if you could keep it. They're shooting for democracy. So I urge you to go and read these codes that I just cited to you and do the research for yourself. You can discharge debt dollar for dollar, public debt, because they created the debt and we didn't. This is not sovereign citizen BS. This is written in their own documentation. I just put it out and I facilitate this to the world so that people could actually wake up out of the matrix. Kahan Tazadak, said it. That's how we on it. Pay bills without money.
So therefore, what do y'all think? Y'all believe him? Are you trying to deceive us? Can we really pay bills by just writing a few United States codes on things and sending them back in? I mean, that's interesting. I think that's real interesting if you can.
We have to have what Walter Lippmann, back in 1920 or so, called manufacture of consent. We have to ensure that actual decision-making, actual power is in the hands of what he called a specialized class, us smart guys, who are going to make the right decisions. And we've got to keep the general population marginalized because they're always going to make mistakes.
Marginalizing meaning?
Reduce them to apathy and obedience. Allow them to participate in the political system, but as consumers, not as true participants. That is, allow them a method for ratifying decisions that are made by others, but eliminate the methods by which they might first inform themselves, second organize, and third act in such a way as to really control decision making. That is, the idea is our leaders control us, not we control them.
George Washington did.
We believe them? Think they're trying to deceive us? No matter what they're saying, like exactly what he said is exactly what they're doing. Do you think that's why the Electoral College was made? Just in case the people didn't vote by popular vote, the right person that they wanted to, they could still somewhat manipulate the outcome by saying the Electoral College is this or this or this. This state took this state took this, adding up colleges or adding up the votes for their certain delegates. What do you guys think?
Pay a federal income tax. Thomas Jefferson didn't pay a federal income tax. Andrew Jackson, Teddy Roosevelt, no one did until 1913 and the passing of the 16th Amendment under Woodrow Wilson. That means there was no federal income tax the first 137 years America was a country. Because the no taxation without representation guys made it virtually impossible to impose one. It's why they had to pass this garbage in 1913. And yes, there were roads. This is the Brooklyn Bridge being constructed in 1883. Notice all the infrastructure behind it. They just needed the federal income tax to steal the wealth of America. Because that same year, 1913, they passed the Federal Reserve Act, which gave a small group of powerful bankers a monopoly over the printing of money, which is what this book is about. And yes, I'm aware that Abraham Lincoln imposed a federal income tax during the Civil War. But what schools fail to teach is that tax was later found unconstitutional, which is why they needed the 16th Amendment. Schools aren't teaching our kids real history, so people have no idea that it hasn't always been this way. It's why I write books on the history of fake news, how they control information, the corruption of the banking system. And if it's free, it's probably a trap, and the importance of our rights. Because if we want a better future, we have to remember the past. Check out my private homeschool community, askalearner.com.
Shout out to Brett Pike. Does a lot of good work, making it easy for you to explain kind of the madness to your children in a way for them to be able to learn and soak up what's real out here and what's really not. I think it's interesting, and a lot of people can say that this is not true, this is this is that, but I mean, honestly, we see what's going on. You have to wake up. I mean, isn't it time? Isn't it time for you to wake up and realize that not everything is a coincidence? Isn't it time to wake up and realize that not everything It's just, hey, that just happened like that, with all these things lining up like that, connecting, and it's random. You would never believe it in any other fashion. You would never. And the previous video I found interesting when he was speaking about the guy, can you pay your bills? Can you pay your bills by writing stuff on it? I don't know, but here's something interesting. He said it's a republic if they want to make it a democracy. We've been told our whole lives that we live in a democracy. This is what I'm just saying. People be saying shit. People just be saying shit. They've been telling us, our whole lives we live in a democracy. We're going around the world spreading democracy, being great to all these other nations, spreading democracy. We live in a republic. Oh, you don't believe me? Okay. What do they tell you to say every day before school starts? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. To the republic, not to the democracy, to the republic. But they got you believing that it's a democracy. Why? Why wouldn't they want you to know the difference? Is it because you probably have more freedoms in a republic than you do in a democracy? Or is it because all democracy fail? All democracies fail. They fail. They fail. But if we're looking at it, no matter what civilizations have been, haven't they all failed? Go read the book of Ecclesiastics. Remember, I'm not a religious man, but if you read the book of Ecclesiastics, you'll probably be thinking the same thing I'm thinking. What the hell?
Days later, I didn't have any disease. I didn't eat anything. I believe what he said. He said, don't eat for 90 days. All of you would say, what? Don't eat for 90 days? Then how am I going to live? How are you going to live? The stuff you eat is killing you. So if you just stop eating it, that's a plus. What is a good breakfast? 3 glasses of water or 4. Why? Because that's electrical. I was fortunate that at 30 I met someone that introduced me to food, to God food. So I got iron in large quantities, and that is the mineral that is consistent with us, the black people. Iron. The doctors tell you that you're not supposed to take iron because it will bind you. He is 100% right, providing the iron is ferrosulfate. It will bind you. But if it is the iron that God made that we use in our compound, it gives you energy. It makes you, hey, I could do more work and I'm not tired. But of course, the body needs energy. And you could only get energy from the substance that God made. Not from aloe vera, not from comfrey, not from peppermint, golden seal, garlic. These are all man-made products.
Lightly. What do y'all think? Y'all believe him? Y'all think he's trying to deceive us? If you don't know who that gentleman was, that was Dr. Sebi, Dr. Sebi, however you want to say his name. A little bit about him was everybody said that he was crazy. He went to a mental institution, mental asylum, all of these things. But when he started learning about, food and everything, he started going on his path and his journey. Long story short, this gentleman is the only man ever. He's the only man ever. No matter who they are, what nation, what creed, what anything, he is the only man ever to go and win in the Supreme Court, and then the next day in the federal court, no shoes on. The bro didn't have no shoes on. He is the only gentleman that won a case out of over 3,500 people total who have been tried for fraud, medical fraud. There was 9 ailments, all right, 9 illnesses that America says, hey, these things can't be fixed. These things are deadly, and they're going to only get worse. There's no help. There's no cure. There's no end in sight. He said, but 9 of these that America said there's no end in sight. He said that he cured these people. The government said, boy, you're lying. Boy, I know you're lying, just like everybody else we done had to stand in front of us looking at us been lying. We know your ass is lying. You ain't even got shoes on your feet. You was in a mental institution. Didn't really have formal education. We know your ass is lying. Nope. They said bring 9 patients, being 1 patient for every illness that you're saying that you completed. He's like, oh, okay, I'll do better. I'll bring 77. The man brought 77 people with extensive data where he said that he cured these 9 ailments that America says these things are incurable. He's the only man ever. So people can say this, people can say that, but he is the only man ever to win in a Supreme Court and go back the next day and win in a federal court, highest courts in the land, where they try to say it was a fraud, where he proved with evidence, with extensive research backing it, that he's no fraud. And guess what? More coincidences. They arrest him, he ends up dying in jail. What? Gave him the big ha-ha and said you died from pneumonia. Isn't that crazy? You can cure people from 9 ailments that the world says are uncurable, but you die from some punk-ass pneumonia? Boy, you can't make this shit up.
When the cops come up after they pull you over, what's the first thing you say?
Why'd you pull me over?
When they start asking questions.
I'm not discussing my day.
And they get belligerent and they yell at you and scream at you and they ask more questions.
Am I being detained or am I free to go?
And if detained, what do you have to say?
I invoke the 5th.
And then what do you do?
Shut the f*** up.
And those 25 words are to be said.
Okay, that big pill. Don't believe him? Think you're trying to deceive us? I ain't gonna lie to you. Police pull me over. I ain't talking to none of them like that. I don't give a damn what color they are, what creed they are. I ain't talking to none of them like that. It's just I don't talk to people like that in general. Like I'm a yes sir, no ma'am type of person, just in general, right? So that's how I'm gonna treat you. Now, when you get a little bit overzealous and show me why I shouldn't treat you like that, you damn right you're probably not gonna like this interaction too much more than I am. But I tell you what, when you first come up, I'm not even going to be rude to you to even give that type of energy off. We're not even doing that. Sorry, sir, what'd you need? You know why I pulled you over? If I do, I'll be honest and be like, yeah, I apologize. Hell, I've been pulled over and be like, yes, sir, I apologize. I was on my phone running my damn mouth. And he liked that I didn't insult his intelligence, and he gave me a warning and let me on about my way. But we ain't going to get here and get automatically get the greasy with him. Automatically get him a reason to be, overzealous. No, for what? Hell, for what? Even if he comes overzealous, tell him with kindness. Yes, sir. No, sir. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Now, like I said, if they get to doing too much, I get it. But normally, like we be doing too much from the beginning to make both parties escalate it to places that doesn't need to go.
In 2 species. Then you get the air out, you plug it with your thumb, and then you pull back on the plunger. After one little hit, it's already do this.
Follow for more.
Spaniards came and they went to destroy Northern Kingdom, particularly on the island of Hispaniola. They had to learn about the people who they were going to conquer first. They needed to learn about them. What is it about those people? They needed to know that before they even went there. So the objective of the enemy is to learn what holds the people together. What is the binding tie that makes them a unified people? Like us, we're trying to be unified. And you heard J. Edgar Hoover said that the worst thing on the planet Earth and in heaven, he said, is Negro unity. He said, okay, so unity is something that an enemy has to disrupt. They have to get rid of that. So in order for me to bust up that union, I needed to find out what's their strength. What is the glue that glues them together? What is it that brings them together as a family? What brings them together? Language, culture, different things that unite them. They say, well, you're my people and you're not my people.
A lot of studies that have came out and show that women who believe in the zodiac signs and manifestation tend to have high levels of narcissistic personalities. They also manifest other Machiavellian traits. They're more sexually liberal, I guess you could say.
I think it doesn't matter. They're a Virgo.
Yeah. And they use zodiacs to justify their poor behavior, bad behaviors usually as well.
Ken makes fun of someone with cerebral palsy, but karma got him in the end. It all went down at 7-Eleven in Philly. A 22-year-old man with cerebral palsy parks out front in handicapped parking. Ken mocks the man inside the store and continues to do so in the parking lot to his face. And for absolutely no reason, sucker punches him square in the jaw. Ken flees the scene, but the surveillance video led to his capture. Barry Baker Jr. was arrested for assault and was released on $25,000 bail. But Barry got in a high-speed chase and crashed his car. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Sweet justice, cuz.
Watch this. So working for the military.
Oh shit. That wasn't the ending I was expecting. Can't say I'm mad at all. I think it was absolutely disgusting the way he hit him like that. For what? For what? This is what I'm talking about. And the other guy with him, you're a sack of shit too. You're a sack too. Like, what the hell is wrong with people? Nobody has standards anymore. Nobody gives a damn anymore. Like, come on. For you to allow him to hit him like that, like, if he's my boy doing something that ignorant, I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to knock the shit out of my boy. What is you doing here? What's going on here? That's not what we do? Come on. We ain't got to be perfect, but we definitely ain't doing no weird shit like that.
I wasn't governed by the same laws that the typical person was, so I could look at the impact of certain drugs that are not everyday things. So that was really interesting. And as I was doing this, I had a personal training business. So since I was 18, I had this training business that grew and grew and grew.
No, listen, ladies. As men age, and if we work on ourselves, we acquire value. So that means that we get more attractive because you ladies are attracted to a multitude of things. You're attracted to competence, you're attracted to leadership traits, you're attracted to assertive dominance, and you're attracted to finances, right? So it takes time for a man to acquire value. So if a man is 40 years old, but he acquired that value, guess what? He's attractive and appealing to most women. But a woman that is 40 years old dating a 20-year-old, well, she done lost 80% of her eggs. It's going to be a high risk pregnancy because men, we prioritize fertility, beauty. So a woman that's 40 years old, she's less beautiful than she was when she was 25. So when a woman ages, she loses value. Men, we age like wine. Ladies, y'all age like milk. That's just the facts.
That's crazy.
Y'all have an expiration date.
Don't buy your next item on Amazon before trying this. So sometimes you might find a nice product on Amazon that you want that has really good reviews. But did you know if you go to the URL of that product and copy it, and then go to this website, you can paste the URL in that text box and then hit run report, and it will remove all the fake and unnatural reviews for that product, leaving you with a new rating. It'll also give you a report card of those reviews and an analysis of why it removed them.
First of all, don't give your strength to women. Like, what does that mean? Don't give your money, yourself, your essence, your who you are to women, because that has brought kings down. This is how powerful women are. We have the ability to bring down kings. So be careful, son. Like, don't give your strength to just any old woman, because she can bring you down, right? If she doesn't have your best interest at heart.
A believer? Is she trying to deceive us? I mean, there's a lot of stories traditionally or in history that they've taught us where a woman has been a man's downfall. So what do you guys think?
The modern woman, the typical modern woman, labels herself the prize. And she plays the fiddle. She jumps on the carousel, and Mary goes round and around and around from her teens all the way to her mid-30s. And then when she realizes, hey, my biological clock is ticking a lot faster, tick, 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 she wants to settle down. So she was a self-appointed prize. She's labeled herself the prize most of her life, and she's ridden the carousel. Now she wants to jump off because she's about to hit a wall. And then reality kicks in, and she realizes that, damn, a man's biological clock is much longer than mine. I'm about to hit a wall. So now she wants to settle down. This prize that she's appointed herself that no one wants. Because the prize has been open and closed and open and closed and open and closed, and you can't even hide it with a gift wrap. So it's a useless prize because now no men want that prize.
Hey, you believe him? Think he's trying to deceive us? I mean, can't women do what they want to do until they want to settle down just like men? Or is it wrong and because we are different, they should focus on other things, why men are forced to focus on other things? I mean, who knows? I think it's pretty crazy how it works. A woman can pretty much have any man that she wants at any time of her life, because truth be told, when she gets older, when she has kids, when she does all these things that a lot of these men are running around saying that these women won't have other options for, which they will, because there's always going to be men that will accept women like that, because so many men don't have options at all. So many men will never get a phone call back, never get a message back, never get a hey, how are you back. So yeah, there will always be men willing to accept women for whatever they do and however they do it. I think so. I mean, I think so.
Speaking of love, this is love. I saw a guy on the internet the other day who said he used to be your security guard, who said that when you were dating J-Lo, Will Smith and Jada tried to pick her up on a threesome and you were going to beat up Will Smith. Is that true?
Yo, this show has gotten crazier since the last time I repeated it.
It's all about love, though. That's not true?
You really heard that? Nah.
What? Yeah, I watched it on the internet. You're telling me I can't believe everything I read?
What? I don't know what you're talking about. Jimmy, I thought we was friends. Where did this go?
Run to those people that just...
And you believe what he said? Nah. You believe that? Think he's trying to deceive us? To me, it looked like he was shaking in his boots. Almost Jimmy, how could you even almost ask me this type of question? You heard him. I thought we were friends. Why would you ask me such a real question like this? I thought we were playing softball. I thought you were just tossing them up to me. Why the hell would you ask me this question here? Got me sweating on your couch now.
Seem to hate you for no apparent reason. I mean, you might not have did nothing to them physically, but for some reason, they just always mad at you. They might have a better title. They might be a boss. They might be a doctor. They might have more money than you. They might have a family, but they still seem to hate on you, even when it seems to the physical eye that you might be behind them. But in actuality, what's happening is that their soul is in a fight with your soul. They recognize that you're aligned with something higher than the mundane things that they're aligned with. They're only aligned and have power through their title. You have power through your spirit and your soul, and that's what they really fear, and they hope that you don't know that, because that's the only way that they can keep you down. But when you actually know that, then they have no power over you, because they stuck in the mundane while you floating on a higher ranking spiritually. Believe that.
Did you know Gerard Pique cheated on Shakira in 2022, so Shakira released a new song and tried to troll Pique in the lyrics. She said, "You traded a Twingo for a Ferrari, you traded a Rolex for a Casio." After she said this, Casio gave a savage reply to her. They said, "Shakira, we may not be a Rolex, but clearly our customers are loyal to us." And in defense of our Casio watches, the battery lasts longer than Peak and Shakira relationship. After Casio gave this reply, Peak announced a partnership with Casio.
The US just told the UK that they're no longer...
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? These companies clapping back. They ain't giving a damn. You ain't gonna come for our product. You got them messed up. What I will say is, those hips still don't lie.
considered an elite fighting force, saying the army is in tier 1, it's barely tier 2, with the belief the UK's warfighting capabilities declined to such a level that the UK can no longer defend itself or its allies. And the US adding that it would take 5 to 10 years for the UK to build up a single division, and that the UK would turn up under strength in a conflict as well as being unable to defend its airspace.
What y'all think? These countries can't even defend themselves, and they running around here trying to talk spicy to the nations that'll blow them off the map. What's really going on? They said 5 to 10 years to build up one division of their military. That don't even make sense. How does anybody allow their military to get that behind on anything, especially if you got the United States behind your back? You know, we're the big guys that tell people don't do what we may or may not be doing. So, listen to us. If you're on our side, you get to do whatever the hell you want. If not, watch for the sanctions. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying I agree by any means. What I am saying is leave us citizens out of it. Leave us the hell out of it. We don't really get a say, so just leave us the hell out of it. All you hierarchy people work with each other, trip with each other, play your games with each other. Leave us the hell out of it. Well, if you made it this far, I want to thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on the way out. Tell us how we can improve and grow the channel. Hit that notification bell to make sure you're here for the next one. And don't forget, all of these videos are for entertainment purposes only. Have a grand rest of your existence. Always remember, fortunate feelings forever and fortunate vibrations forever. And until next time.